Good evening and welcome to Hot Topics from the Soul. I'm your host, Dr. Valerie Parker Hagan, and I'm declaring all things new. I have my co host.
And good evening, happy new year, happy new day, happy new year. And I too come in agreement and proclaiming all things new.
Absolutely. It begins with the mind. Whatsoever a man thinketh, so
Yes.
is he. So if you see yourself in the future looking a lot better than you do right now, you on the right track. Everything is going to be new.
You hit it right on the head because it starts with the mindset. It's a mindset. It begins with that. Before the world was spoken to existence, it was in the mind of God. And then he said, let there be. And so it has to be in our mind, in that we have to recognize that it's not about pipe dreaming. It's about really being deliberate, intentional, and really having measurable things that we want to see different about ourselves.
Absolutely. You know, Dr. J, I was thinking about this message today, and I started thinking about how athletes that on a professional level, how intense they are regarding their dreams and their goals. They are relentless. They get up every morning, they do their exercise, they eat properly, and they're focused. They educate themselves. And that's one of the things that individuals fail to do when it comes to the planning process of getting to the next level. So many individuals wants it microwave style, snap in a hurry, 1 minute, 2 minute process, but it takes a journey. It's a process getting from one level to the next, and you have to put in the work.
There's no substitute for putting in the work. There's no substitute for preparation. When we fail to be prepared for the dream of that which we're trying to achieve, then it doesn't manifest, because all it is an idea. Goals without a plan is nothing but simply a dream. But a dream, when executed with the plan, becomes a successful venture in our lives. And it starts with preparation, and the preparation is mentally. I thought your example was absolutely right on it. When we look at athletes, particularly professional athletes, many of them, they have dreamed of getting there from the time they were children. So they
Yes.
start off and they learn about conditioning. They learn the importance of being disciplined. And then from that point on, they continue to be what? Consistent inside of it. So part of our thing is not just the fact of having a dream, but how do we become disciplined? And then how do we remain consistent inside of where we're trying to go?
And that's the key, remaining consistent in spite of, because there's going to be opposition. Anytime you're fighting for your dream, there is going to be opposition, but you have to stay the course. You have to stay focused because of the fact that, they say no pain, no gain.
Okay.
No pain, no gain. When you're exercising and you trying to get that body right, there's going to be pain in the process of getting it done. Likewise, it is with our dreams. We're going to run into oppositions. Number one, people are not going to buy into who you are or that dream you have. But one of the things you need to make sure that you remember is it's your dream. So
Absolutely.
don't expect everyone to jump in and want to participate in your dream. Because a lot of times, once those individuals around you that have walked with you through this dispensation of your life, a lot of times they can't go with you to the next level. You're going to have to shed some fat, just like you do when you're losing weight. You got to peel back some layers and you're going to lose some fat. So everyone is not going to be excited about your dedication to your purpose. So you have to focus in your mind is it worth it?
Yeah,
Is
and
it
the
worth
thing
it?
about yeah, you're right. And we have to be all right with that. The individual has to be all right and understand it. Look, no hard feeling. In order for me to get to where I need to shave back some things. In other words, I need to become more focused on where I am. That means I need to eliminate as many distractions as I can. That means that I don't need to be taken out of focus because of mediocre things or things that are so petty that really all it does is serve as a sabotage to what you're trying to do. And you have to give yourself permission to do that, because other than that, we're into the second day of a new year. But if we don't change our mindset, it might as well be December 33rd, 2023. You know, and so we have to change our mindset. And our mindset is the fact of being able to purpose in our heart, purpose in our mind. This is where I want to do. And sometimes it's not a matter of making big, lofty goals. It's about making goals that are attainable, that we can experience some success inside of it. If you've never gone 30 days fasting, if you've never gone 2 days fasting, you might not want to set a goal of 30 days fasting right away. You might want to get some wins up under your belt, do some things, change the mindset, become more disciplined, become more focused, have an accountability partner. That is so important when you have someone who has your best interest in heart. They say, hey, did you do this today? Or how did that go today? And you say, well, I didn't get to it. Hey, come on now. What do you mean? You know, what's getting in your way? To hold you accountable, because it's the mindset that begins it. But then it's the accountability that causes you to continue to look forward to it. And I recall last time I shared something that was so important to me. And my youngest son said to me, he says, Dad, you have to learn to fall in love with the process as much as you do the promise. And that's the thing about it. We have to get in love with the process. You know, coming into a new year, what is it I'm willing to let go? What is it I need to shave away? What is it that I need to focus on and really maintain my focus?
You know, Dr. J, a lot of people don't want to be alone, and they're afraid of being alone, and they're afraid of moving forward because they know that some relationships they won't be able to continue because of where they need to go. But one of the things I want to encourage you is there's more friends up ahead. There is more love up ahead. Sometimes, as I said, you have to shed some fat because a lot of people can't go where you are going right now. So you have to expand your mind. And I believe really, Dr. J, that a reason why a lot of people are stuck in life, as I said on the show last week, sitting in the car with the engine running, going nowhere, is they're afraid of change.
Absolutely.
Change is always uncomfortable. I hated to move. I hated the packing. I hated the shifting. I hated the distance when I had to change jobs and shuffle the children to school.
Absolutely.
I hated change, but it was necessary for where I needed to go and the process. I've been an entrepreneur for about 38 years now. And every day I had to fight my way through, because I had 4 little children and they were dependent on me. And so I had to make sure that I was focused on where I wanted to go for their benefits, because they were relying on me. So you may say, well, Dr. Val, I don't really have anybody relying on me, so the fight isn't as great as it needs to be. Yes, it is, because it's never about you particularly. It's about those people that you're assigned to that you don't even know about. So that's why the fight is necessary to help you get a greater crown.
You know, you put it so well, because the fact of when fear sets in and we don't want to be alone, or we get comfortable, or we don't want to step out, what that says to us is the fact that in all actuality, that which we so desire, we don't value enough to get out of our comfort zones. And sometimes, in order to meet who you need to meet, that person that may have been assigned to walk with you, even if it's but for a brief season, you've got to move from where you are. We have an old saying that said, you cannot explore the oceans if you never leave the shore. If you don't leave the shore, you can't explore the ocean. And so when you don't leave the shore and you don't explore the ocean, what eventually will happen with your life if you start going through a cyclical season of being frustrated, feeling unaccomplished, feeling even depressed and frustrated, because you know deep down inside of you there was something calling out for something greater, but you allowed your fear to overcome your faith. You allowed your comfortability to directly oppose, if you would, your pursuit. And those are the things that as we enter a new year, or when we make a declaration, a proclamation, it's not only a new year, it's a new day, and it's a new me. When you proclaim that, you've got to put in the work, because the work is required. There is no Merlin the magician. There is no abracadabra and all of us. No, It is going to take effort, time, effort got to be put inside of it, and be willing to see yourself transform.
That's the thing, Dr. J, being willing to go through the process. When you were talking, I was thinking back at how I was thrust into what I'm doing right now.
Yes.
I was a mother, I was a wife, I was in ministry, and I had a job, and I was okay with that process, except for one thing. I was a victim of domestic violence.
Yeah.
And when I had to make a decision to cause a shift in my life, it wasn't New Year's Eve. It wasn't New Year's Day. It was in August when I had to make a decision to abort this process, this ship I was on. And I had to make some moves. And in making that move, it was uncomfortable. I wound up being homeless. Me and my 4 children sleeping on one mattress, one queen mattress, 5 of us on one mattress. It was uncomfortable, but I knew there was more. I wanted more. And until you're willing to actually dive in and be relentless about your goals and your dreams, is nothing going to take place unless you're involved. You have to be willing to participate in your own rescue of your life so that you can get to the next level. And so many times we fail to do that because of fear. Fear causes us to be stunned in our tracks. Fear of something that happened in your childhood tells you that you're not worthy of it, that you can never do it, you can never be it. But I'm here to nullify that prediction right now and tell you, you can achieve. You can open that business. You can move from one place to another. You can own your home. You can buy a car cash, and you can get to those places that you want to go. You can be successful in any aspect of your life that you desire, but you not only have to will it, you have to do it.
You know, you put that so very well. And the thing about it, there's an old message that was based upon the eagle, when the eagle stirs her nest. And the thing about it, that eagle loves her eaglets, but yet it's still, she understands that in order for the eaglets to become what they need to become, she has to get them out of the nest. Well, how does she does it? How does she do it? She began by, if you would, removing all the nice soft padding from the nest, replacing it with thorns and prickles and thickets and those things there. And eventually what happens now, the eagle takes the eaglet and does what? Takes them up and drops them.
Out and drops them.
And drops them. And it reminds me of something that Les Brown says so much. He said, sometimes you got to leap and grow wings on the way down.
On the way down.
And sometimes what happens with people, you can become stagnant. You can become comfortable with nothing. When you become comfortable and stagnant with nothing, it is called apathy. You have no drive. You have no motivation to go any further. But being a new year, being a new day, being a new you requires you to make some real decisions and make up your mind that enough is enough. It is time for me to fulfill what I know that's inside of me. So I need to understand there's a danger to familiarity, because that is one of the things that do hold some people running in place. When you run in place, that's all you're doing. You're running in place. You're not gaining traction. You're not growing. You're not going anywhere. So when you find yourself in that place there, you become stagnant. And what happens to stagnant individuals? Let me tell you something. There's no growth. Absolutely no growth. The imagination doesn't grow. The ideas doesn't grow. But when you make up in your mind, and that means that it doesn't matter how many times that you fail, how many times or how long it's been since you really take an active stab at where you're going, it is time to make up in your mind, starting when? Not tomorrow, starting right now, today, right now, today. Master this moment. Master this moment. Before you can master another moment, master the moment that you're in. And it may start off incrementally, just mastering the 60 minutes that's in an hour. Mastering. What is it that I can command those times, those minutes to do? And I can build from those type things there. The other part is that if I'm going to really see a new me, I have to consider, what am I putting in me? What am I taking in? What am I doing to expand my mindset so that I now can visualize? You know, you talk about vision boards. How do I visualize where I'm going? Because if I can't see it, I can't believe it. But I'm not talking about seeing it tangibly, but seeing it in the eye of your mind, in the eye of your mind. And so that is so important inside of how do we move forth to the next level? It's a new year. It's a new season. It's a new day. And we have to make the proper step if we're going to achieve what we're able to and what we're capable of.
Absolutely. And you mentioned vision boards. I'm so glad you brought that up, because so many times, year after year, people create these vision boards. But the vision boards are not for you to just look at like a mural on the wall. The vision board is for you to actively participate in making those things become reality.
Exactly.
That's what a vision board is for. It's not for you to look at and say, one of these days I'm going to have this. One of these days I'm going to get my king. But one of these days means that you have to first work on you and fulfill the purpose within yourself. Because so many times, you know, I'm leaning into relationships now. A lot of times individuals like, I don't want to go another year without my queen. I don't want to go another year without my king. But what are you doing to make sure that whoever that individual is that God has for you, get somebody that's whole and not broken?
You know, what you're saying is so true. And it goes back to this. Oftentimes, in that same vein, someone said, well, this is what I want and this is who I want. But sometimes we want things and want individuals to come perfectly packaged. Now, ask yourself this question. Are you perfect? Are you perfectly packaged? No. So just like you must work on yourself, there's individuals that should be working on themselves. But here's the part I find to be so true, that oftentimes we are stagnant because we're unwilling to make that extra step. We're stagnant because sometimes we get to a place of entitlement, like, well, it's just supposed to happen because I'm me. No, there are things that are required of you, because I believe this, that in all actuality, when you encounter other people, every relationship that you have, I mean, any relationship, it's cross-culture. There's something that is being exchanged there. And what you have to understand, if you don't make preparation, how are you going to be ready to receive? Some folks just think that they're going to get lucky. But you know what? The last person I knew named Lucky was a dog. Okay? No, there's no such thing as luck. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. And if you're not prepared, when the opportunity comes, you miss out. It's like the old insurance, it's like the old life insurance commercials that said it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So we have to be prepared for the opportunity. It's better to be prepared for an opportunity that hasn't come than to have an opportunity and you're not prepared.
You know, Dr. J, opportunities are just that, opportunities.
Yes.
There's doors that will open that you have no idea why they're opening for you. When I think back on me leaving corporate America and being an entrepreneur, my children were still in middle school.
Yes.
And it was terrifying. But you know what happened to me one day at work at corporate America? And I was executive assistant to the president of the company. And she called me in her office, and I went into her office, and she said to me, she asked me, she says, what are you doing here? And I said, working. And she says, yes, you're working. You go, but this job is way beneath your skills and talent. Wow. Why are you here? I said, because I need a job and I have 4 children and I need insurance.
Exactly.
So she said to me, she says, your abilities are far greater than this job you have here. There's so much more in you. Now, she was an older Jewish woman.
Yes.
And she said that, and I was only person of color in the place, and I was her administrative assistant. And she said this to me. And she said to me, Dr. J, she says, Valerie, I'm going to give you 30 days of pay.
Wow.
And if you can't find a job or what it is you're supposed to do after the 30 days, I'll give you your job back. And guess what, Dr. J? I've never looked back,
Wow.
because then I had to take courage and walk into the purpose that God had for me. About 2 weeks into that was when I met Les Brown. He was
Wow.
speaking at an event in Miami, and I gave him my card, and he asked me what was I doing, and I said I was doing consulting with churches. And from doing consulting with churches, I was still working my job, but I had something on the side doing it. But you
Yes.
only need, there's only one person away from a breakthrough,
Wow.
and he was my breakthrough. I didn't tell him my situation or nothing. I told him, I told him I had a job and I was working, because I did, because guess what? My
Right.
boss at the time told me if I couldn't make life happen, I could go back to my job. And he said, I want to get into the churches. And I said, you don't want to go into the churches because you was kind to me. I had a problem right then. And he says, no, I want to get into the churches because of the fact that they need more motivation than anybody else, because they're only focused on the Bible, but not knowing how to activate what the Bible says.
Exactly.
And when he said that, it made sense. I said, you know what is right, because a lot of times you go to church and you hear the message, and after you leave church, that's all you hear is that message, and you hoping that it will hold you to the next sermon. But in the meanwhile, your life is the same. Do you
Right.
notice how many people go up to the altar and declare and decree that my life has changed? I'm not going back to that man. I'm not going back to alcohol. I'm not going back to drugs. I'm not going to do this anymore. But a day or two later, they right back in the same situation, because they haven't learned the process or how to activate to get to that next level. So this is where people get stuck. So when he said that to me, it clicked in me. And I said, I want to be a part of this.
Wow.
And here I am over 28 years later, still working with Mr. Brown, and I'm his booking agent. And every day I'm evolving. Every day I'm learning, because guess what? I don't get a chance just to work with him or talk with him on a regular basis, but I get a chance to sow into people's lives. I get a chance to reach out and touch people. And because I'm a minister of the gospel, I'm ministering everywhere I go. People think that just because you're a preacher, it only means you preach in a pulpit. No, your life and how you sow and give into people's lives, that is ministry.
Absolutely.
That is ministry. I'm ordained 3 times as a minister, but I was ministering before my ordination because I cared about people.
Exactly.
So to be successful in any arena that you choose to get to the next level, you have to care about people. You have to care about people. And first, it starts with you caring about yourself. Care about your mind, care about your spirit, care about your body, so that you will be equipped to deal with individuals that will come in your life space. This is a new day. This is a new season. This is a new year. This is a new you. So this is where the preparation starts. This is the first week. So condition your mind that I want more and I'm going to do more. But first, it's got to start with me.
You know, Dr. Val, you said something that was so powerful, even when you shared your story. Here was a Jewish woman who saw something in you, who knew, it could tell that, listen, you are living beneath your privilege. There is something so much greater in you than where you are. But it didn't stop there. She literally made you an offer. 30 days. Here you go, 30-day pay. If you can't go out there and make something happen, you can return.
Yes.
Now the ball was in your court. It was in your court. You could have said, well, let me exhaust this 30 days here, and because I know I can go back.
Right.
Or you could do what you did, and that was to step out and multiply. So often we're given opportunities, and this is what I mean. Being mindful of the opportunities that come our way. You received an opportunity, and what you did, just like the talents that they talk about in the Bible, you multiplied yours. Mm-hmm. You multiplied. You didn't go and bury it in the ground and those things. No, you multiplied it. And as a result of you multiplying, you come across one of the world's most top motivational speaker over the last century. And you meet him at a time that you're going through your own transition. But you was in the right place at the right time with the right mindset. And that's what happens. And that's what we're talking about really tonight, is the fact, if people really want to see a new you and a new year and have a new be a new person, they have to be mindful of things that they do. They have to be mindful of opportunity. They have to be mindful of how they even entreat other people. Because guess what? No doubt, if you had a nasty personality and you were an individual that walked around talking defeated, that would have never happened. But because of the fact you understood the value of who you are. And that's what we really want to communicate with people tonight. There are many of you that are watching by way of Facebook or by YouTube. Feel free to comment in the comment section there. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a remark or statement, please put it there, because this is 2024. 2024. This is 2024 in Jewish calendar. This is a different year. This is year 5784. And that is the year of the open door. The open door. The reality is the door can be open, but will you walk through it?
Will you walk through it?
The door can be open, but will you walk through it? Do you have the courage? Do you have the faith? Do you have the mindset? Do you have the willingness? Have you been anointed with a drive to go through the door? And that requires you sometime, forgetting those things that are behind you, forgetting those failures, forgetting the last time you failed. Because I often say, what lies behind you and what lies before you are tiny matters compared to what lies within you. Now, that's a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson, but it's so true. If you are willing to forget what's behind you, because some people are being held hostage, not to what other folks really are saying, but it's what they are answering to, what they're listening. So what lies behind you and what lies before you, those are tiny matters compared to what lies within you. And that's what coming into a new year is about. It is stirring up those things that lies within you. It's stirring up those dreams, those aspirations, stirring them up to move forward. Make it up in your mind, I'm not going to sit on the curb. It's time to get off the sideline, get back into the game, being more ready, more focused, fervent, and prepared as you've been. And that's what is so absolutely necessary.
That's it, Dr. J. And as you said, it's going to be uncomfortable. It is. Yeah. And those of you that are tuning in and listening, just type in the word new. I want new. And because once you say it, it becomes alive. It activates inside of you. So say, I want new.
Yes.
Which means I want more.
Yes.
You want more. Everybody should want more. You shouldn't be complacent into what happened over the years. And it doesn't matter how old you are. You can start from where you are and grow from there. When I think about the word new, and I thought about an acronym for that, I said new. Never give up on your dreams. Never give up. Yes. No matter how old you get, don't give up on your dreams. Don't forget those things that were placed in your belly, that every time you get a glimpse of it, it activates you and you get a stirring in your soul. Never give up on your dreams. And embrace the journey. Embrace the journey, because everything is a process. It's going to be a journey traveling from one destination to the next. When you want to go to New York, you're going to fly by plane, train, or automobile. It's a transitional time. You have to be willing to transition. First, transition begins in your mind.
Absolutely.
And then in your heart connects with it and said, yes, I believe I can do this. Yes, I want to do that. If you put your hand over your heart right now, say, yes, my heart is beating. I can do this. I can do this. Embrace the journey. And wait on the manifestation of the promise. And when I say wait, I don't mean literally just sit waiting to see what happens. I mean, wait on the manifestation of the promise because of the work you put in.
Absolutely.
You have to be involved. You have to be involved in the process. And when I say involved, I mean actively involved, not just for a moment, actively involved, saying, I want more. I want to be more. I want to do more. I want to be a transition change agent on the planet.
Absolutely.
When you want to win $1 million and you keep seeing those lottery tickets, guess what? You got to go purchase a ticket. You say you got to be in it to win it. You got to go purchase the ticket. That's
Absolutely.
how we have to do with our dreams. We have to purchase materials to empower and inspire us to get to where we need to go, because our thinking this far has brought us nowhere. So you need experts that have already done it or can show you how to follow through to get to the next level. So that means you have to participate in your rescue by reading and materials and listening to materials and being involved in different nonprofits. We have nonprofit organizations, Dr. J,
Yes.
where sometimes we need help with individuals doing different things to help
Absolutely.
us reach the masses. So involve yourself.
Exactly.
Participate.
You know, it's nothing like the on-the-job training. And you said something earlier. You know, a lot of time people, you run out of momentum and you run out of motivation because you think you've reached a time of your life like, well, that dream is behind me. Well, that'll never be able to be achieved, or wow, it's too far there. But, you know, I have to say this. I remind you, Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart, opened up his first Walmart at the age of 44 years old. He was 44 years old. That means that all the years before then, he was in something else, trying to succeed in something else. But at 44 years old, he opened up what is now the biggest conglomerate that we know in North America. What? He did not allow his age to be his cage, but he had to have the vision. He had to begin to see himself differently than he had viewed himself before. So many people, they are stuck. They're stuck. They don't have a healthy vision of themselves. And they don't have a healthy vision about what's really been spoken over their lives. They don't have a healthy vision. So they succumb to what? Generational thing. Well, nobody in my family has ever done this. And oh, no. Listen, be the first. Be the first. If you have to be the first in your family to accomplish it, be the first to do so. And you have to be intentional. You have to be deliberate. And then this is what you have to do. Do less talking and more walking. Less talking and more working. Stay focused. Stay focused. How do I stay focused? Sometimes I stay focused by cutting off every distraction from around me. Sometimes I have to do what? Delay certain pleasures. Because here's the thing. We're often driven by what I call instant gratification.
Yes.
Instant. You know, no man goes into the gym. You know, this is a brand new year and everybody showing up at the gym. I'm going to, you know, everyone purchasing their membership cards. And you know what happened? You'll get a few people that'll go today and tomorrow, and they'll start looking in the mirror by Thursday, seeing if they see a change.
That would be me. That me. I go to the gym and I'll be like, did anything change? I'll be like, right. That would be me.
Yeah, we have to be continuous. We have to be consistent. And we have to understand that one of the greatest things that we have to understand that robs us of any success is lack of discipline. Think about it. When we fail to meet that goal, oftentimes it's lack of discipline. We grew weary. We got distracted. You know, other things came up and other things took priority. But you know, it is when I think about it in this term here, when I think about the fact of how important discipline is, it is right up there next to oxygen when it comes to fulfilling dream. It just simply is. You know, when we think about the fact of in life, there's nothing that we can do or accomplish if we're not disciplined. You know, Jim Rohn put it this way. He said, in life, we all will experience constant pain, two constant pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The difference is that the pain of discipline weighs ounces, while the pain of regret weighs tons. And the reason why that is because so often time, what it takes to become disciplined really is a small matter compared to the pain that we experience from regret. Living on wish I could have, wish I would have. And some days we are delayed by procrastination. That's the other enemy of our dreams, procrastination. How many people that you know live on one day out? One day I'm going to do that. One day I'll go there. One day I'll accomplish this. One day I'll. No, cancel your membership. Cancel your lease. Cancel your contract for the one day I'll and make it today. And that's how we begin to move toward the new us.
Absolutely, Dr. J. You know, our show always goes so quickly and we have so many people following us, but I want to encourage those of you that are tuning in to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Hot Topics from the Soul. And Dr. J has a nonprofit. You can connect with him at jrthicklin.com.
Yes.
And my website is fromthesoulawoman.com. And there you will find information as it relates to, I think, every aspect of your life. I even have any information on there regarding health, how you can get healthy and wise, because a lot of times we go through situations in our body because of the fact that we don't take care of ourselves inwardly. We spend so much money on the outward appearance that we forget about what's happening inside. And you actually need to get, or people want to go on fast the beginning of January, saying they're detoxing, but then the rest of the year is a train wreck. So exactly. you have to be aware of your body and how it functions every day in order to get to the next level. I shared with you before, like how I was so much on the grind till I wound up in the hospital a couple of times during the last 30 years of my entrepreneurship, because I was on my grind. I was relentless. I had 4 children in school. Then they moved from regular school to college. I had 3 in college at one time. Plus I was traveling the world with Mr. Brown. I was exhausted. I weighed all about 100 pounds doing all that time. Yeah. I was halfway eating because I was so full of adrenaline. I wasn't eating properly. And then you grabbing a salad or eating something along a piece of fruit on the way and thinking, okay, that's good. But no, that wasn't good at all for me. I was eating granola bars thinking, oh, this is healthy and wise, and wind up in the hospital because I ate granola bars and maybe a salad every now and then. Got sick. So we have to really take care of our bodies, not starve our bodies to death, but eat regular meals, exercise, and educate. These are the things I feel that will help you get to the next level. Eat properly, exercise, and elevate your mind by educating yourself on where it is you want to go and where you want to be this year, next year.
Absolutely. You know, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, but it doesn't stop with one step. We have to continuously put one foot in front of the other. So when we talk about ordering our steps, it's a matter of saying, listen here, I'm going to follow the path to my destination, to my purpose. And we can do that by being smart. What do you mean by being smart? We have to be able to have develop smart, smart goals, things that are maintained, the things that can be maintained, things that are measurable. Smart, they're measurable. These are things that we can access. These are things that we can not only rehearse, but these are things that we can fulfill each and every day of our lives. The one thing I do know, and I've been doing this for, the last at least 5 years, I generally take the first 90 days of the new year, and it's my way that I don't eat anything like chips, soda, starches, bread, those type things there. It has always served me well inside of it. But what I noticed last year, I was coming out of COVID. And this time was a greater challenge. So I pushed myself to go beyond the 90 days, and I actually went 110 days. Why? I needed to prove to myself. Now, what has that landed me? This whole year, past year, 2023, I was able to maintain, if you would, a certain weight, or at least not go over the weight that I used to have. And what I've recognized is the discipline. It gets a little easier because the more you do it, the better it gets. The more you do it, the better you get. Because it starts with all this. We sow a thought mindset. We reap an action. We sow an action, we reap a habit. We sow a habit, we reap a life. And that's what happened. It must become a lifestyle. And that's when we start talking about a new you. Listen, there's nothing like you having discovery of a new you. A lot of times we try to do it because we want other people to see it. No, Start with yourself.
It starts
so you
with
can look at yourself and go, man, I love what I'm feeling. I love the transformation that's happening within me. Then it becomes something that you do it. Like your four kids were your motivation to do what you had to do. I was like you. I had 4 kids in college at the same time. 4 of the 5 was in college at the same time. It was a tough cookie. But we got through it. It got us to where we need to go. And what we're saying today is that before you start rehearsing negativity in this new year, before you start singing songs of defeat, before you start moaning and complaining, we invite you and challenge you to change your language, to change your thought process, to change the things that you allow yourself to hear. Turn off that tape recorder that continues to remind you of past failures. Turn off that tape recorder that continues to tell you that you was in the bottom 15 of your class. Turn off that tape recorder that continues to tell you that you've had one failed relationship after another. Turn off that tape recorder that says to you that you didn't finish school or you didn't finish college. Turn off that tape recorder. It is time now to begin to allow the things, the word, the faith to come alive inside of you. And I'm telling you, that's not a religious experience. That's a relationship experience.
Relationship experience.
And that's what it's really all about. Purpose in your heart, purpose in your mind. Listen, I dare you to try it. I dare you to make up your mind that when it comes to my life this year, no excuses. I'm moving forward. We said last week, we're divorcing excuses. We're divorcing excuses. This is the year of the open door. And all we have to do is walk through that open door.
Absolutely. Dr. J, we're out of time, but I see Anita Hicks. She's a great motivational speaker. We're going to have her on. She talks about living your authentic life. Now, you know that's needed, Dr. J. We need to have people on here that can talk about how you cannot be fake. Because, you know, a lot of people trying to fake it till they make it. How about making it to that next level? And stop putting on these airs. You know, people go buying all these expensive things because they want you to think they got this and they got that. I don't care about any of that. I think about living from one day to the next, healthy and wise. I think about and excited about my children and their accomplishments and my grandchildren. I'm living for my grandchildren. I like seeing them reach out and walk up and say, that's Nana, or they want to talk to Nana, 2 and 3, 4 years old. They want to talk to Nana. That warms my heart. That's because I put in the work.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the work. And see, Carla Saunders is on there. She's a regular friend to the show, and she was on our show last year. But we're going to have so many exciting guests, so you don't want to miss any of Hot Topics from the Soul. And if you do, we want you to subscribe to the show channel on YouTube. That way you can always go back and replay it, because we have individuals that are going to talk about opening trust accounts, why you need a trust account, and why a trust account is far more superior than having a will. People need to be educated on that. We're going to have individuals talking about home ownership, why you need to have property, how to start a business. All different types of things. In the election years coming up, you need to understand how you can find out who is running for office in your area and how to vote. Don't just vote because grandma's a Republican or my dad is a Democrat and you just voting because of that. You need to know who's serving you. Absolutely. Information. This is a free spot for information to empower you to be better, to grow in wisdom and knowledge. And we're going to have so many exciting guests that can help us with that. So tune in again next week for Hot Topics from the Soul. And don't forget to visit our websites. Mine is from thesoulofAwoman.com. And you can find out from there about nutritional products, health products, soul products. Educate yourself with books and stuff. And Dr. J, here's your website. Tell them what they'll find on your website.
Listen, jrthicklin.com, you're going to find not only some very good motivational tips, but you also find an opportunity to have us to come out, whether it's your organization, your business, your club, your church, or whatever, and really help do some team building things there. Because even in your organization, sometimes when there's disarray, there's no productivity. When there's low morale, you don't get the best out of people. So you have to consider the fact, what is it that I can do? How can I maximize those people that are around me? How do I maximize their talent, their energy, their time, and their treasure?
Absolutely. And those of you, you know, Dr. J and I are passionate about helping individuals of domestic violence. Absolutely. And that is the phone number there, 1-800-799-7233. If you find yourself in a domestic violence situation, reach out to the hotline and get some help. You know, if I hadn't had the courage to walk away from my situation, I wouldn't be where I am. My children wouldn't be where they are. And it takes courage to want to do that. But yes, you have to feel the fear, but do it anyway. Break away, because there is greater. This has been another Hot Topics from the Soul. Thank you so much for tuning in. Good night and God bless.
God bless.